ask permission, okay, for the meeting. Okay. So I hope everyone is here. Okay. Should we start, student?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Start.
Perfect. Okay. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Students, let us revise quickly what we had seen yesterday. Okay, we had just started with what is discrete mathematics is and what is your overall syllabus structure. Okay, so today we are going to see very first point in our first unit, that is significance, that is importance of a discrete mathematics in a computer science field and the applications of the discrete mathematics, where discrete mathematics concepts or the methods we could apply in a different fields that we are going to see, student, today. Okay. Now, first of all, we will see what is discrete mathematics and the significance of discrete mathematics. If I want to elaborate about discrete mathematics, then computer science is almost built on discrete mathematics, student. So, understanding discrete mathematics will help you to understand all the fundamentals of computing. Okay. So, if you're talking about computer science, obviously you will have network, you will have data science, you will have algorithms, you will have compiler, you will have artificial intelligence. So everywhere discrete mathematics is involved. Okay, so discrete mathematics, I can say it is a base for the computer science. Okay, it is a backbone of the computer engineering. And I could say discrete mathematics is the mathematical language of the computer science student. Okay. So discrete mathematics is a part of mathematics devoted to the study of discrete object rather than a continuous object. Discrete object, distinct object, separate object. Okay. So we are dealing with distinct object. And yesterday, if you recall, the concept of discrete mathematics is quite simpler than the continuous mathematics. Okay, because here we are dealing with only discrete object, not the continuous objects. Okay. Now, if we want to take the example of discrete object, okay, how do I give the examples? Okay, the steps taken by a computer program are nothing but the example of discrete object. Okay, step one, step two, step three, all the steps we are writing in order to develop a computer program is a list of discrete object. Okay, distinct path to travel from point A to point B on the map. Okay, so if you want to travel from any point, from suppose point A to the point B, okay, then you will be using the discrete object for that. Okay, ways to pick a winning set of numbers in a lottery. So these are number of examples we could have as a discrete object. Okay, so discrete mathematics deals with discrete object. Now, very important thing, how this discrete mathematics, okay, is important, why this subject is important, okay, in a computer application. Like as a software engineer, why I should study this discrete mathematics, what is the link between the computer science and the discrete mathematics? So I'll tell you, student, discrete mathematics is the base for your further study. See, student, you are going to study compiler design, you're going to study database, you're going to study computer security, you're going to study operating system, you're going to study a TOC, theory of computation, in the next year. Okay, so for all this subject, this discrete mathematics is playing basic role. Okay, so whatever ability you will develop, thinking ability, mathematical ability to solve the problem, okay, then that ability will be helpful to understand all the subject that I have mentioned right now, student. Okay, so the course in discrete mathematics provide the mathematical background needed for all subsequent courses in the computer science and for all subsequent courses in many branches of the discrete mathematics. So I hope you have got the significance and the importance of discrete mathematics. Okay, now I'll tell you, student, okay, how this, like I'm saying that for all these courses, this course is like a fundamental, right? So how you're going to bifurcate this course and how you're going to link this course content with the other course content. I'll tell you. Now, set theory we are going to study in discrete mathematics, right? So, set theory is used in software engineering student. So, you will have a software engineering subject in the next semester. So, this whatever the concept of set theory you will be studying, that will be used in a software engineering. Even in a database theory, also you will be using the set theory. Okay, and that you will study under discrete mathematics. I will talk about logic under discrete mathematics. So logic you'll be using in artificial intelligence. You'll be using in circuit design. Okay. So logic part is very much important for these subject. If we talk about counting, then probability. Okay. Counting, under counting, you will have a probability. And probability, is very important if you want to analyze particular algorithm. Okay. If I talk about graph theory student, graph theory, you will have next year computer network subject. Okay. So whatever the methods and the techniques you'll be studying under the graph theory, you'll be applying it in a computer network subject. Okay. Data structure, you'll be using the same stuff. Okay. Then if we'll talk about number theory. Okay. So numbering in a discrete mathematics directly lead to the cryptography. So what is cryptography and what is coding theory, that we are going to see. Cryptography is the application of discrete mathematics and quite interesting. We are going to discuss what is cryptography after this. Okay. So this is how you can understand how the subject is important. What is its significance and what its importance. I hope you have understood this. Should we go for the next slide, student? Have you understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, okay. Now I will tell you what are the kinds of problems we can solve using discrete mathematics. Okay. Now, before to this, okay, a simple problem I will suggest you first. Okay, if you want to sort the numbers, okay, how you are going to sort the numbers in
Ma'am,
ascending
listen,
order or descending?
Ma'am, I think
Hello?
your screen is freezed.
Freezed. Okay, it is not going in the next slide. Now it is visible.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Now it is visible.
Obviously.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but are you comfortable with this? Okay, otherwise now what do I do? I just want to draw one. Okay, let it be. I'll open the PDF. PDF option would be better. Okay, now this is okay. Student, are you able to see the screen?
I think it's freezed again, ma'am.
Okay, I'll share it again. No problem. Okay, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, yeah, now it is iterating. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just wanted to draw one diagram using a slideshow. I was able to use the pen. Now let it be. Okay. I'll just show it over here. Okay. So what are the kinds of problems solved using discrete mathematics? So if I'll give you a simple problem statement to sort out the integers or the numbers with the ascending or descending order, you'll be using discrete mathematics. Okay. If I will ask you to draw a diagram like this, a square, and then one like diagonal in between. Okay. And if I'll ask you to draw this diagram without lifting your pen, okay, it should be a continuous diagram. How you will draw it? Okay, you will think and accordingly you will draw it. So there you will use the concept of discrete mathematics. The next problem would be how many ways can a password be chosen following specific rule? With the specific rule, okay, like how many ways we could have to select a password? Okay, that could be a another problem statement. With the help of discrete mathematics, you'll be solving. Now the next one is quite interesting. How can I encrypt a message so that no unintended recipient can read it? Okay, so here encryption and cryptography will come in a picture, and this is what one application of discrete mathematics student, and that we are going to see in a next slide. Okay, so encryption, okay, with the help of discrete mathematics we could do where we are going to provide the security, okay, to the data that we are sending from sender to the receiver. The next problem statement is what is the shortest path between the two cities using a transportation system. So yesterday, if you are recalling Dijkstra's algorithm, I had mentioned, right? So you are going to see how that algorithm is used, okay? You are going to see how this algorithm is working and how we can apply it in a real time, real world problem, right? So basically, this discrete mathematics, okay, will help you to think like a computer student, okay, and you will analyze how we can solve the problems and how we can go and we can reach to the path where we want to go, right? So this is how the discrete mathematics will come in a picture. Find the shortest tour that visit each of the group of the cities only once and then ends in a starting city. Okay, so these are the different types of simple problems I have just mentioned over here so that you will come to know what could be the different types of problems we can solve with the discrete mathematics. Okay, I'm moving to the next slide, student. Whether it is visible. Whether the next slide is visible, student.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, goals of a course discrete mathematics. So, what is a goal of this course discrete mathematics? So, basically, goal is nothing but the outcome. Okay, already we had discussed. Quickly, we'll go with this goals of course discrete mathematics. That is mathematical reasoning. You'll be able to read, understand, and construct the mathematical arguments and proofs. Okay, so okay. So if I'll give you example of mathematical reasoning, how you will go with, okay? Proof and reasoning, okay? Argument, proof and reasoning is quite interesting topic, student. If I'll ask you to discuss between if you observe the discussion between the two members, and if I'll ask you that just write down the rules with the help of rules, just check out who is lying, okay? Who is a liar in a discussion. You can do it, student, with the help of discrete mathematics. Because with the help of rules, with the help of proofs, you'll be applying those rules, you'll be applying those formulas, and you will be getting the results. Okay, so this is what the simple example for the mathematical reasoning I just want to give, student. Then combinatorial analysis. Basically, it covers the probability, okay, and the combinations. Okay, so probability we are not having in our syllabus, but that is a one goal of the discrete mathematics students, where you will understand the techniques of counting object of the different kinds. Okay, then the third goal is the discrete structure. Now, how discrete structure is coming with respect to discrete mathematics? Student, here you will understand the relationship between the objects. Okay, so basically abstraction, the representation of object and the relationship between the object you will understand with the help of discrete mathematics, and that is required in your discrete structure. Okay, so these are some goals of the discrete mathematics. Next, algorithmic thinking, application and modeling. Now, how algorithmic thinking will be developed, student? Okay, now see, algorithms, you are knowing how to write what is algorithm, how to write algorithm. Okay, if I'll ask you to write down or to find it out the complexity of the algorithm, the speed of the algorithm. Okay, so there discrete mathematics will come in a picture, because with the help of discrete mathematics methods, okay, you'll be able to identify the speed of the algorithm. Okay, with the help of discrete mathematics in a modern days, computer run faster, okay, very efficiently, we could execute the task. Okay, so discrete mathematics is playing important role. Okay, so algorithmic thinking development will be done with the help of this subject, student. Applications and modeling. Okay, so it is important to appreciate and understand the wide range of applications. Okay, now here we are starting with the applications where this discrete mathematics we could use in a different fields. Okay, so application, if I talk about, then obviously number of applications we are having. We could use it in a computer graphics, we could use in a relational database, we could use in a image processing. Okay, we will start with a computer, simple computer, and you will come to know how this discrete mathematics is contributing in all or wide range of applications. Okay, so it is important to appreciate and understand the wide range of applications of the topics in a discrete mathematics and develop the ability to develop new models in a various domains. Okay, once you will be able to think logically, think analytically, then obviously you're going to develop the new models in a various domains today. Okay, so this is what the significance and the importance of the discrete mathematics in a computer science field. I hope you have understood all these points, student. Should I move ahead, student? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will see discrete mathematics in computers. Now, how in the computers discrete mathematics is playing important role, student? See, computers, obviously, the software we are installing, okay? We are executing the software with the help of computer. We are storing the files on a computer. But whatever we are storing onto the computer, what is the representation of the data? Obviously, the data is stored in terms of zeros and ones, binary. Okay, so 0 and 1, it is a whole number, right? So these are the discrete data. We could say 1 and 0 is a discrete data, right? So ones and zeros, the information we are storing in a string of ones and zeros is nothing but the discrete data. So we are representing data in a discrete form in a computer. Okay, so binary digits we are grouping together. Okay, and we are storing that information as files onto the computer. So here discrete mathematics comes in a picture. Okay, so this is a very basic application we could have. We'll go for the next student. Okay, so discrete maths in a railway planning. Okay, if you observe this diagram, this is what the start and this is what the starting point and this is what the destination. Okay, now if you observe this diagram, it is looking like a graph, student. Okay, so if you want to start from this point and if you want to go to this point, you will have different routes. You can go from A to B, B to G, G to destination. You can go from C to E, E to F, and to the destination, or else you can go from start to D, D to F, and F to the destination. So various routes you will have, student. So in our railway planning, how this discrete mathematics will be helpful? Okay, how this concept and methods will be helpful? Railway planning uses discrete math, deciding how to expand train rail line, train timetable scheduling, and the scheduling view. Okay, so all the scheduling, okay, all the expansion of this path will be done with the help of graph theory. Okay, that is there under discrete mathematics. Okay, so with the help of graph theory, you will be dealing with the scheduling, you'll be dealing with the expansion of the track, everything you can have. Okay, with the help of graph theory in a discrete mathematics, and this is how in a railway planning this discrete mathematics is used. Okay, so these are the simple applications you can have. I'm going for the next application, student. Cryptography. Are you able to see this diagram, student?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Now, what is this cryptography is? Okay, I'll give you one example, student. Suppose there is one sender and one receiver, and one private message they need to send. Okay, very important, crucial message they need to send to the proper authenticated recipient or a receiver. Okay, there should not be what you say, a malicious attack in between. Okay, to the proper person only it should be reached. Okay, so how that message I can send from the sender can send to the proper receiver, how that sender will ensure that message is going to a proper receiver or not. Okay, for that purpose this cryptography is playing is important role where you will be using encryption algorithm. But basically what you're doing, student, here, encryption means what? Sender is sending the message and that message is as it is message, that sender is not sending it to the receiver. What sender is doing? Sender is performing some application on the data Okay, the data means the message, right? So the sender is performing some operations, and that after applying that operation on that data, okay, the data will be encrypted. Why encryption is necessary? Because the third person should not see that message, should not get, should not have access to that message, student. And even though the third person will get that message, this third person will not be able to understand what that message is. Okay, for that purpose, we are using encryption, student. So basically, we are encrypting that message. Okay, we are protecting that message. Okay, how we are protecting that message? We are encrypting with the public key of the sender. Okay, so this is what the sender is sending some message, right? The sender is encrypting that message with the public key. So after encryption, you will get message like this, and this message is called as ciphertext. And this ciphertext is encrypted text, right? So this encrypted text, third person will not be able to understand. For what purpose we are encrypting it? Provide the security, the message, the important message. Okay, so that the intended person, okay, the authorized person only will get that message. Now, how that authorized person will get that message? This encrypted message, okay, will be decrypted by the authorized person private key, student. Okay, so this is what the authorized person, okay, with the help of private key, the person will decrypt the message, and that person will be able to see the original message. And that original message, we are calling it as a plain text. So we are having ciphertext, encrypted message, and plain text, that is original message. How we are going to get the plain text? Applying private key, we are converting that ciphertext into the plain text. I'll give you a simple example, student. Okay, if I'm writing OBBND, what I'm writing OBBND, and if I'm providing key as one character or one letter, what would be the plain text of this OBBND? So secret key is what? One character. So basically, what we are doing is we are putting one character. I mean, after O, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. After O, we are having P, right? So O will be converted into P. O letter will be converted into P because the secret key is one. One means what? One letter ahead. Okay. B will be converted into C. Again, next B will be converted into C. N will be converted into O. And what D would be converted, student? D would be converted to which character, which letter? Hello?
C.
Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible, student?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So O will be converted to P, right? B will be converted to C. Again, next B will be converted to C. N will be converted to O. And D will be converted to
C.
C, ma'am.
D.
C.
Okay. One letter next to it. So after D, E would be there. So O, B, B, N, D would be ciphertext for my plain text P, C, C, O, E. Okay. So this is how the different methods we can apply for this encryption. This is what the simple example I have given. Okay. Just getting the one letter next to the letter of the ciphertext. Okay. So number of techniques we are having for the encryption. This is what with the simple example, I have explained what is this cryptography is. And if you want to go for encryption and decryption, then you will be using discrete mathematics here. So you'll be playing with the numbers, okay? Because ultimately the data we are going to store in zeros and ones. I hope you have understood this cryptography, student. Kindly acknowledge. Are you getting it,
Yes, ma'am.
student?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Now next slide, image processing. Now, how we can apply the discrete mathematics concept in an image processing? If you are aware, the image is a collection of zeros and ones, student. Okay, that we are calling it as a binary image. We will have binary image, we will have grayscale image, we will have RGB image. We will not go into detail of that. Okay, so binary image we are representing in terms of zeros and ones. Okay, so in a matrix form, so this image, if you are observing, this image is stored in a computer in a matrix form. In that matrix you will have zeros and ones. So each and every pixel in this image is represented either as 0 or 1. Okay, so obviously if image, we are having data of image in terms of zeros and one, we are dealing with a discrete object. And here will be able to process that image with the help of discrete mathematics. So if you want to process the image, if you want to apply filters on that image, if you want to enhance image, if you want to extract important information from the image, then you'll be using the discrete mathematics method, student. Okay, so this is how the image processing is a one application of the discrete mathematics. The next is, last one is Google Maps. Okay. Now, if you observe the Google Maps, how discrete mathematics will be helpful here, students? Can anyone give me answer for this? Hello?
Coordinates, graphs, coordinates.
Right. Very good. Very good. Okay. Coordinate, graph, destination, sources, nodes, everything will be there. Ultimately, this Google Maps is nothing but what, student? It is nothing but the graph only. Okay. And each and every place into onto this map you are observing is a node. You can count it as a node. So graph and node and the various path between those nodes, the various path between those cities, between those places. Okay, so the Google Map you are observing here is nothing but the graph, okay, including the cities as a node and the path as a road, right? So if you want to determine the fastest route, okay, within a minimum time, you will be applying this graph theory over here, and this could be a another application of the discrete. Okay, in a pure computer science, okay, if I'll talk about relational database. What is relational database, student? Relational database is nothing but I could say you will have the classes, okay, of a particular entity in a relational databases, and you will try to find it out the relation between those entities within those classes. Okay, if I'll give you the example client, okay, client in a company. So what we will do, we will have, obviously we will store the client information in a database, right? In a relational database means what? Along with the name of the client, we will be storing the attribute of the client, name of the client, address of the client, phone number of the client, salary, I mean the various details we will be putting inside it. Okay, so all these details are nothing but what? These are nothing but the discrete object, and we are trying to relate those discrete object to each and everything. Like we are trying to relate the name of the client to its address, to its phone number, and so on. So here discrete mathematics methods are coming in a picture. Okay, where we'll try to identify the relationship between the discrete object in a relational databases, student. Okay, one real-time example I'll give you. Traffic light, student. Traffic light, traffic light programming. Okay, so it is based on the six-way intersection where graph coloring algorithm you'll be using. Okay, so how to color a graph? Okay, that algorithm you'll be using in a traffic light. Okay, so these are real-time, real life examples you could observe where discrete mathematics is playing very important role. So I hope students you have got what is the significance, what is the importance, and what are the different application areas where you can apply the discrete mathematics concept. Yes, student, have you got it, student? Please in a chat window say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please type
Yes, ma'am.
it, everyone. Have you got it, student? Any problem in this?
No problem, ma'am.
Problem, ma'am.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. I just want to show you one single 3 to 4 minutes video. Okay. Just listen. Quite interesting. Just need to download the attendance. Just listen, everyone.
Ma'am, there is no voice from the video.
Okay. I'll
Others prefer a more
Now it is
technical
audible, student.
explanation and say that
Yes,
it
ma'am.
expresses
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
the universe. Maths helps us explore and explain the world within us, around us, and beyond us. In many ways, maths is the underlying tool that humans have used to create some of the most astonishing achievements, especially in the last few hundred years. Mathematics has many branches, but it can broadly be classified into continuous maths and discrete maths. Continuous mathematics deals with real numbers. Between any two real numbers, there are infinitely many additional real numbers. There are no gaps in the real number line that continuous maths operates on. Continuous mathematics reflects the world around us, which is smooth and continuous, like the progression of time, rotation and revolution of planetary bodies, etc. Discrete maths deals with sets of items that can only contain distinct values that cannot be further subdivided. For example, ideas like gender, names of colors, number of siblings you have, etc. are all discrete values. Interest in discrete mathematics increased in the latter half of the 20th century, partly due to the development of digital computers. Computers operate in discrete steps and store data in discrete bits. The continuous nature of the physical world is translated into discrete steps by digitizing it. Concepts and notations from discrete mathematics are useful in studying and describing objects and problems in branches of computer science. To glimpse the kinds of problems discrete maths deals with, consider 4 people and 4 chairs. How many different ways can these 4 people be seated on the 4 chairs? If you were to manually write out all possible combinations, you would see that there are 24 ways. But what if you were dealing with larger numbers? For example, 10 people and 10 chairs. The answer is 40,320. And good luck if you want to calculate that manually. You will encounter more riddles like this when you come across the topics combinatorics and permutations. Another way you can use discrete mathematics is to find the shortest path between 2 locations. You have probably used a GPS navigator or Google Maps to find the shortest route to your destination. Have you wondered how it's done? There are several possible paths that can be taken from point A to point B. How can you find the shortest path? Or you might want to travel from point A to point B, but intend to visit several other points of interest along the way. How can you plan the most efficient route so that you travel the least distance? You will learn how to represent maps and solve this type of problem in the topic graph theory. By now, you might have an idea of what the wonderful world of discrete maths is all about. It's practical and it's fun. Welcome to the land of discrete maths. If you fear maths, then confront your fears with the understanding that discrete maths is a tool to help understand and solve interesting problems. It can be your greatest friend.
Okay, students. Okay, that's all for today's content, lecture content. I hope you have understood it and I hope you have enjoyed it, student. Okay, take care. Bye bye. You can leave. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.